on Hawaiian punch. Know you like all this gush. Oh no, you can't get enough. Sipping on Hawaiian punch. Ay.
Hey, my name is Adeline Warren, and you're listening to Girl Talk. I like to say that I'm the big sister of the internet. You can watch me fuck up all you want, but hey, maybe we can learn something from it. I hope you enjoy. Hey, can y'all hear me? Hi. Oh my God. I am so excited about today's episode. Why do I always start that episode like this? I'm obviously excited for every episode because I just love talking to you guys. But today we're going to be talking about something that I feel so passionately about, which is being a lucky person. And I really, truly, genuinely believe that anybody can be a lucky person as long as you have a certain subconscious thought constantly occurring in your mind. And I really do believe that there's like a way to become a lucky person, because I don't think that I've ever really been a lucky person until I really started changing my subconscious mind. And, you know, I feel like it's really easy to say, oh, I'm a lucky person because, you know, I grew up in like a wealthy family and I'm a trust fund baby. And like, hey, I get to spend all the money that I want. I have no problems, more money, more problems. You know, people can say that they're lucky because of that. But I was never like that. Like I, you know, didn't grow up the richest person. I grew up with an addict parent, and you know, it really affects you when you grow up in like this, you know, type of household where it's like, you know, money doesn't grow on trees, and you grow up with all these limiting beliefs, and like you think like, oh, like, you know, life sucks, like why am I deserving of these things, and blah 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 blah. But it is a science. It is an actual science. I found this on this article, and it basically said that there is a science behind people who consider themselves lucky. There's 4 things that people who consider themselves lucky that they have. So number 1, they're flexible in how they achieve their goals. They're not set on a fixed way of getting their goal. Number 2, they trust their gut and they follow their intuition. Number 3, they're optimists and they believe it's all going to work out in the end. And then number 4, they're resilient and they bounce back when things don't go their way. So you can't control, you know, how you were born. You can't control the situation that you were born in. You can't control, you know, the situation of like how people treat you and like what other people do to you. You can't control any of that shit. The only thing that you can control is how you react to the situations that you're in. And I feel like lucky people always have these like little mantras in their head, and I'm going to get into it in the podcast, but I always have these little mantras and these little things that I say in the back of my mind, and I know that I'm a lucky person. Everything is going to work out in the end. And especially if you're a woman, women are amazing manifestors. They're crazy, amazing manifestors. Like think of like girls, and they're like, I feel like being on a yacht today. And then suddenly they're on a yacht. Like those are the type of bitches that are like crazy manifestors. And like, of course it like does help, like, you know, if you're pretty, but there's a lot of pretty girls that are not crazy manifestors and they're not really lucky. And like, it's all about being in the specific mindset. And I truly, genuinely believe that I am like the luckiest girl in the universe. Like I didn't grow up with money. I fucked up a lot. And like, I like, who would have thought that like me, out of all people, would like end up in the situation that I'm in? I have like the best job in the whole world, and like I'm able to like do what I love, and like, you know, I'm able to like treat myself once in a while, and like blah 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 blah. And something that I remember so specifically is when I was growing up, this is what I specifically remember, is there was this competition. Did you ever have those like little, you know, those games when you were younger, and it was like a lottery type thing? So you raise a certain amount of money, and like if you're lucky, then you can win like a teddy bear. I have always wanted to win that huge Costco teddy bear. I've always wanted that teddy bear, and they had it every year. And I was like, oh, like I'm not a lucky person. Like I'm not gonna get it. Like I never win these things. Like I always enter 17 magazine contests and I never win it. I always enter like my school lottery stuff and I never win it. I'm just like an unlucky person, I guess. And like, I don't deserve it. I'm like an unlucky person. And I guess I'm like, you know, I just like don't attract good things. And there's actually, when I started, you know, like believing in luck and like starting to think that I'm a lucky person is when I had a High School Musical poster, and I used to play soccer when I was younger, and I would be like, okay, if I bring my High School Musical poster and I have a red Gatorade, those were my specific things that I needed. If I had a red Gatorade and I had my High School Musical poster at my soccer game, I'm going to score a goal and I'm going to have a good game. And what do you know? Every single time that I had a red Gatorade and every single time that I had that poster, I scored a goal in my soccer game. And that's when I started almost like believing that I was a lucky person. And I'm going to break it down to you, like why I believe that those specific things and like how I kind of began to become a lucky person and like how you can also become a lucky person. Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited. I have like so many story times to like back this up and like, oh my God, this is like so fun. Anyways, I have 6 affirmations that you can constantly repeat to yourself, that you can constantly tell yourself. And even if you don't believe it, say it out loud. Don't say it in your head. No matter how stupid you sound, say it out loud, even if you don't believe it, and say it a lot of times. And I promise you're going to start to believe it and it's going to be in your subconscious. So affirmations, I always get what I want. I always get what I want. So I have a story time about this. One time, and I told this story on TikTok, but one time I got invited to this really cool brand event. It was a brand that I've always wanted to work with. And I was so excited. I was invited to this really cool event. And you could just tell by the invite, it was like a July 4th, all white party. And it was at Nobu. Fucking Nobu. So bougie. You knew that every celebrity was going to be at this event. And I was so excited about it. And I was like, oh my God, it's going to be so fucking great. So I have a +1. I bring Andre and, we get dressed, we get all cute. They said to show up 1 to 4 p.m. So I think we show up around like 2 or 3. And keep in mind, I got ready. We did a little pregame. It's a party. So you want to do a little pregame. You don't want to be like the first one to show up. And we get there. I think we took an Uber and it was like 30 or 40 minutes away from my apartment. So we arrive at the front of Nobu and we get in line, and this fucking event, this company, first of all, is notorious for throwing shit show of events. But we get to the line and basically there's a security guard being like, everybody, whoever's in line, you're not getting into this event. And I was like, huh? What the fuck? I didn't ask to be at this event. Keep in mind, they asked me to come to this event. I took my own time. I put it in my calendar. I got ready for this. They sent me clothes for this. Like, I was ready to have a good time and have a good party. Like, I've never come across this in all of my life where essentially you get invited to a party and then you show up and they're like, by the way, you can't get in. What the fuck? That's not normal. What the fuck? And I was like, what the fuck is going on? So, we go in one line and they're like, all of you guys need to go home. Y'all are not getting in. And it's like one of those mean security guards that are like really negative energy. And you're like, dude, you're taking your job way too seriously. Okay, calm down. But everyone was super annoyed. And I remember there were people behind me and they were like, yo, dude, I bought a bottle here. I spent thousands of dollars on a bottle. Let me in. And he was like, nobody's allowed to get in. We are over capacity. Nobody's getting in. I'm sorry, but all of you guys have to go home. And there was at least 50 people outside. There was a lot of people outside and we all showed up at the right time. They told us to show up from 1 to 4 p.m. and it was around 2 or 2:30 or 3. And it was the time that they told us to show up, and apparently it was over capacity. So I was like, Andre, I looked at him dead in the face and I was like, Andre, I don't care what the fuck we have to do, but we already spent all of the time to get here. I didn't ask to be here. We got invited to be here. We deserve to be in the party and we're going to get in the party. I don't know how, but we are going to get into it. So we tried different things and I was like, we got into the VIP line, and then even in the VIP line, they're like, nobody's getting in. Even if you have a bottle, you're not getting in, blah, 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 blah. And then, I go to the restaurant next door and I was like, hey, I was wondering if you guys had any availability. And I tried to sneak in through the restaurant next door and they weren't having it. And then this is when shit gets really lucky because I was like, Andre, fuck it. We're going to hop the fence. I know that it's Nobu, and I know there's A-list celebrities in there, and I know it's gonna be embarrassing as fuck, and I know I'm wearing a dress, and the odds are not in my favor, but we're gonna fucking hop the fence. And Andre's like, are you serious? Like, what the fuck? And I was like, I would rather ask for forgiveness than permission. And what's the worst thing that could happen? They kick us out. We're already not in. So the worst thing that could happen is kick us out, and we're not even, we're already out. So that's the worst that could happen. We have nothing to lose. So we're at this really crazy fancy Nobu restaurant, literally Kardashian style fucking restaurant. And I'm wearing a nice white dress. I think it was a dress. I don't know what I was wearing, but I literally do not even think twice. And I hop over the fucking fence. And I saw my friend and I was like, oh my God, hey. She's like, girl, did you just hop the fence? And I'm like, yeah. And then she saw the security was coming to like kick me out. She's like, girl, I love you so much, but I'm going to pretend that I don't know you. And I was like, girl, like me too. I would do the same thing. Don't even worry about it. And then Andre hops the fence and security guards are swarming around him. I think it's because he's a guy. They're swarming around him. A bunch of security guards are all around Andre, and like I'm kind of like, you know, trying to like pretend that I'm drunk and like be like, oh, like frolicking around and like blah 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 blah. And a security guard goes up to me and he's like, hey, I saw you hop the fence. Like, you're not supposed to do that, blah, 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 blah. You need to leave. And I was like, hey, like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I just, like, my friend needed to drop something off. I needed to get something really quick and then come right back in. But, like, I was already in the party. So, you know, I just, like, wanted to, like, get back in and, like, blah, blah, blah. And, like, I just kind of, like, played dumb. And he kind of just, like, let me go. And he was like, whatever, this bitch is drunk. Like, even though I was completely sober. And, and then Andre, they were so fucking like unprofessional. This event, I swear to fucking God, the security guards were asking Andre for $100 and Andre was like, yo dude, like I'm so sorry, like I swear, like I was just in here, like I don't know what's happening or like what's going on, like I was just in here, like I had to get something really quick. And they basically were like, give us $100. And Andre's like, oh my God, like I don't have cash. And they're like, do you give Cash App? Do you have Venmo? And Andre's like, sorry, I don't have Cash App, I don't have Venmo. And they were like, you know what, dude, it was like 10 minutes, probably 5 to 10 minutes where they're like pressuring Andre and talking to Andre. And they're like, you know what, you're fine. And they let him in. And I swear to God, I never felt more lucky because that party was fucking fun. And I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to take no for an answer. I know that I'm a lucky person. I know I'm going to get my way. And I know that no matter what happens, like the worst thing that could happen is nothing. Like we were already outside. The worst thing that could happen is nothing. And I know that I'm a lucky person and I got in and I didn't have to pay anything. And I had the best night ever with my friends. And there was like celebrities there. Fucking Tyga was there. Like fucking Trashton Thompson was there. I think there's a couple other celebrities I can't remember off the top of my head. But oh my God, it was like one of the most fun nights ever. And it all stemmed from me just knowing that I'm a lucky person and that everything is going to come my way and everything is going to work out in the end. Number 2, another affirmation that I always tell myself is manifesting is effortless to me. I remember saying this, I say this to myself all the time, and a really good example of this that I can tell you guys about manifesting is so effortless to me is specifically when I was in a casino in Vegas. So we were in Vegas for my cousin's bachelorette party, and none of us are really crazy gamblers, and like nobody really wanted to like gamble really crazy. But there was one night where like, you know, we were a little bit tipsy and like we were a little bit drunk, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, I want to be the one that gambles. And like I feel like, you know, if like somebody's gambling, it's fun for like everyone else to watch, and like it's fun like to make a night out of it. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna take out a little bit of money and I'm gonna gamble. Well, I took out like quite a bit of money actually. But I was like, you know what, I know that I'm a lucky person and I know that I'm gonna get my money up, and if not, I'm gonna break it even, and if not, you know what, fuck it, like I just know that I'm lucky and I know that everything is gonna work out. So I took out like a pretty good amount of money and I was like, fuck it, I know that I'm lucky, I'm gonna go to the what's that table, red and black roulette. See, I don't even know how to play the game, but I was just so drawn to that game because I think I've seen it in David Dobrik's vlogs, and he was like, I'm going to bet all my money on red. I'm going to bet all my money on black, blah, 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 blah. And they like win every time. I feel like David Dobrik does this too. He knows he's a lucky person. But yeah, I just basically went into the game that I knew that I wanted to do. And I was like, I'm going to bet all of my money on red. Was that it? Yeah, I was like, I'm going to bet all of my money on red. And I didn't even think about it twice. They were like, oh, and I was like, red. I want to put all my money on red. All of my money's going to go on red. Do it right now. I give them my money. They, spin the little thing. I don't know how they do it. It's like the red and black roulette. So they basically like throw the ball into the little game. And there's a bunch of, holes that are red. And there's a bunch of holes that are black. And it's essentially just like a lucky game, and it's all about luck. And I knew before I even gave them my money, before I handed them my money, I knew while I was holding my money, I'm gonna win. And I know that I'm gonna win. And I knew manifesting is effortless to me. And I know I'm gonna win and I'm gonna double my money. So I put my money on red. They spin the little thing. It's all in a matter of seconds too. All my friends were around me for my cousin's bachelorette. Everyone was around me and they were like, holy shit, Adeline just like bet all of her money on fucking red. And they're like, what the fuck is happening? What is going on? So they spin the little ball. They put the ball in the little spinny thing. And guess what? You probably know it. It lands on red. So I doubled my money, and the rest of the night I was like, fuck it. Like, I just know that I'm lucky. Like, I'm just going to keep gambling my money. I mean, this is how gambling addictions start, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to put the money that I already had in my pocket. I'm not going to gamble that. And all the money that I just won, I'm just going to give to everyone else so that they can gamble and have fun too. So that's what we did. And like, some of the girls like played games for me and like they used my money, but like we actually were up. And I was like, I had no idea how to play these games. I knew that it was all about luck. I knew that I was a lucky person, and I got doubled my money. And I think I checked out and I won quite a bit of money too. But yeah, I think if you're going to be gambling, because I don't want to start any gambling addictions. Don't sue me if you get a gambling addiction, okay? But what I did is when I won the extra money, I put my original money in my pocket, and I knew that I wasn't going to spend it. Because I don't know, I'm not really much of a gambler. I don't really find joy in like gambling. I find joy in like, really strategically spending my money. But, I was drunk and I knew that I was lucky. So, it just happened. But yeah, that was a really funny story about how I knew that manifesting is effortless to me. Number 3, the manifestation I want to say is power isn't given to me. I already have it, and power is already within me. So an example of me kind of like saying this manifestation, saying this mantra, and like putting it into real life is, I've told this story before on my podcast. I think I said it in my 24 Ways to Be Confident vlog, but basically there was this, film event, and I wasn't even invited to it. It was my brother that was invited to it, and I was his +1. And he basically said, Adeline, like, there's a red carpet, like, oh my God, it's gonna be so fun. And I was like, I am gonna get on that red carpet. I don't know how I'm gonna get on that red carpet. My name is definitely not on the list, but I'm gonna somehow get on it because you want to get your Getty image photos. You want to look good, whatever. So we show up to this film event, and I have no idea how I'm going to get on this red carpet, but I know somehow that I'm a lucky person. I'm going to finesse my way on. So we enter through, the line. There's like a huge line to get in. There's a ton of people there. It's crazy. There's like crazy huge actors, crazy huge directors, everybody in film. I'm like getting kind of intimidated because I'm like, holy shit, there's a lot of big people here. I don't know how I'm going to get on this red carpet, but it's like what I came here to do. And like, I came here to get a cute pic, and I'm going to fucking get it. And obviously I like came here to support my brother too, but I wanted to show him, I'm like, Brayden, watch this. I don't know how, but I'm going to get on the red carpet and I'm going to get you an interview with one of these people here because my brother's trying to get into film. And I was like, I know I'm going to get you an interview, and I know I'm going to get on the red carpet. And you're going to get a lot of contacts here. So we get into the event, and we have our names, they're all on the list, and the red carpet is on the left. So I go straight immediately to the front of the red carpet. There's like a bunch of people kind of like covering it and like hovering around to like see what kind of celebrities are going to be there. There's photographers and blah, 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 blah. So I go to someone that works there and I'm like, hey, is there someone that's like running the red carpet? And they point to the person. I can see the person with the clipboard and they have like literally a name of list or like a list of names of people that are supposed to be on the carpet. And I'm like, okay, this is the person I'm going to finesse. And I know that I'm lucky. I'm going to get on this carpet. I go up to the girl and I was like, hey, my name is Adeline Warren. I'm supposed to be on the carpet. And she goes, oh, I don't see you on the list. Like, it's, who is your point of contact? And I was like, I don't really know. Like, I know my manager said that I was supposed to be on the red carpet. Like, here's my Instagram if you want to look at it. Like, I'm a musician and I do social media and like, I was invited to be here and I'm supposed to be on the red carpet. And she goes, and she like looks at her list again. She's like, I don't know. Like, she's not really on it. And I'm like, oh, this is the moment. Like, I don't know if I'm going to get on it or not. Like, this is like a really cool event. Like, I really want to get my photo, but I don't know if like, I'm not on the list. So I don't know if I'm going to get it. And lo and behold, she literally gets a brand new piece of paper, an empty piece of paper. She's like, show me your Instagram again. She writes down my name on the piece of paper. And when you go on the red carpets, they kind of like show your name so that the photographers can take a picture of your name and tag you when they upload it to Getty Images and stuff like that. So she shows my name on the red carpet. She's like, here you go. You could go. And I go on the red carpet that I wasn't even invited to. And they take a picture of my name and they take a picture of me. And I got my Getty Images photo. And I was like, Brayden, watch this. And afterwards, after you take photos of the red carpet, they kind of do like video interviews. And they were like interviewing me and they were like asking me questions. And I was like, yeah, I'm actually like a +1 for my brother. He's like a film. He's a big director and like he has like a couple films and blah, 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 blah. My brother, I keep in mind, my brother is like in school. Like my brother is actually a badass bitch. Like he's actually really cool. He has like a couple films that have won awards, which is really cool. So I wanted to hype him up. And I was like, my brother's like a really big director and he's like a filmer. And then after they finished interviewing me, they asked him, hey, can you come here? We're going to interview you. So they start interviewing my brother too. Isn't that crazy that my brother's name wasn't on the red carpet? My name wasn't on the red carpet. My brother's name wasn't there to be interviewed. I wasn't there to be interviewed, but we somehow finessed our way into getting interviewed. I don't know. I think like I knew that, obviously it does help that like, I showed them my Instagram and like my Instagram has a following. But if you genuinely believe that you're going to get on something, you go up to the person that is of power and you go up to them with confidence. Almost 90% of the time, you will get your way. If you act like you already have what you have, I promise you will always get your way. Okay. And then number 4, manifestation affirmation, I would put everything I want always wants me more. Everything I want always wants me more. And an example that I can think of this was basically every single year, Toronto has a Christmas market. And every single year, I'm a dumbass bitch and I forgot to buy tickets. And it really helps when you buy tickets in advance. And if you don't buy tickets in advance, you have to wait in a huge line in order to basically buy tickets. And it's like almost an hour-long line where you have to buy tickets. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like, it's every single year, I forget to buy my ticket, but I did buy my tickets this year. I remember this year. I learned my lesson. But every single year, I always forget to buy tickets. And I'm like, fuck, like I'm going to have to wait in this huge hour-long line to get into the Distillery District to go to the Christmas market. And I was like, I think I was with my girlfriends at the time. And I was like, fuck. And then I was like, you know what? I am a lucky person. Everything I want always wants me more. And I know I'm going to know someone at the front of the line. I know it. So instead of going to the back of the line, I'm kind of like scanning the line to see if I have any like friends or like anybody that recognizes me or anyone. And it was so coincidental. One of my friends knew someone in line and we like, are talking to them. And I was like, you know what? I know I could do us better. I know I could find someone at the front of the line. So I was crazy. And I like, my friends were with the other friends and I like go to the front and a subscriber at the very front of the line recognized me and they were like, hey girl, they're like, do you want to join line with us? And I was like, oh my God, I wanted to be at the front of the line, but the front of the line wanted me more. What the fuck? And like, obviously it does help that I have subscribers, but I think it also could happen to anyone. What if you have a friend that's at the front of the line? What if you have a family member that's at the front of the line? I think if you're just constantly like believing that good things will happen to you and good things will come to you, it will happen. Same with a parking spot. Guys, I've talked to people about this and like it's so psycho that I even do this. Everything I want always wants me more. I always think I visualize the perfect princess parking spot at the very front of where I want to go. So say it's IKEA. At IKEA, you know how busy IKEA gets during the day and during the weekends? It gets really busy and you have to park really far away. And I was visualizing and I was like, I know there's going to be a parking spot, an empty parking spot. I'm visualizing an empty parking spot waiting for me to pull in. And I know it's going to be waiting for me because I'm a lucky person. And lo and behold, almost 90% of the time that I do that, I find it. And I've talked to subscribers about this. There was this one subscriber, her name is Nicole, and I was talking to her about parking spots. And she was like, yes, I manifested a parking spot near the front. And I was like, bitch, you do that too? You do that too. Like, it is a thing. Manifesting like a parking spot near the front, manifesting a friend near the front of the line, manifesting whatever you want, knowing that what you want, that thing wants you more. And kind of like letting yourself fall and like rely on the universe and knowing that the universe has your back. Okay. Number 5, I put everything always works in my favor. Again, everything always works in my favor. So obviously I would consider myself a lucky person, but I fail a lot of shit. Like a lot of things don't go my way. And there's a lot of times where I fail and I lose lots of money or I lose lots of time or I lose an opportunity or, I'm just not lucky and shit happens. And it's like a lot of the time that shit happens. And like, I never convince myself, oh, this didn't happen to me, I'm an unlucky person. No, I never think that. So there was I have a video, actually, it's on YouTube, and it's like my business failed in 6 months and this is what I did and this is what I learned from it. I could do a podcast episode on that too because I had a lot of things that failed since then. But I had a failed merch line, which was basically like, I think I came out with like a one-piece bathing suit. What else did I come up with? I think like a hoodie. And I put months of time, of effort, of taking photo shoots, of doing meetings, all of these things, months and months and months and months and months of work I put towards this launch. And at the end of the day, I think I came home with maybe about $400. And if you really think about it, like that I didn't even get paid minimum wage. Like the amount of hours that I put into, this merch line and the amount of, hours that I did into like taking the photos and editing the photos and posting the photos and like, finding the perfect fabric and finding my perfect logo and like getting samples and not liking the samples and like getting revisions and like revised samples, not liking those revised samples, hours and hours and months of work to make $400. It was so discouraging. And I was like, you know what, maybe like it was at the time where like lifestyle girls didn't really have merch. And I was like, you know what, maybe lifestyle girls are just not meant to have merch. Like maybe it's only like those like, gamer guys and like, the Jake Paulers, maybe they're supposed to have merch and like lifestyle girls just can't have merch. But I was like, you know what? I've learned, what doesn't work for me. And I know that everything works in my favor. And I know that I'm passionate about merch. And I know that I'm passionate to, make a clothing line. And I know that I went to fashion school and everything is going to work in my favor. So instead of being like, you know what? I know that merch doesn't work for me. It didn't work for me in the first time. So I'm just not going to do it. No. I knew that everything works in my favor. So I started a new merch company with a brand new company. It's with Fanjoy. And that's where I started Girls Supporting Girls. And that's when I started, making money. And that's when I was like, you know what? I learned this and I learned this. And I know that, I failed the first time, but I know now it's going to work out and I learn from it, and this one is going to be better and it's going to be successful. And lo and behold, Girls Supporting Girls is like one of my main sources of income, and it's like so awesome. And like I'm able to donate so much money, like literally hundreds of thousands of dollars, to charities that I love and charities that like mean so much to me and things that like I'm passionate about. Like sometimes I feel like, doing these projects can be kind of like, discouraging, because it's like you're doing this and you're selling this and you're like, what is the meaning of it all? What is the meaning of it all? Like to just slap my name on like a hoodie or slap my name on a t-shirt and sell it. Like, what is the meaning of it all? Like, I don't know. It just like didn't feel fulfilling to me. So I was like, you know what really feels fulfilling to me is Girls Supporting Girls. Because growing up in high school, I was severely bullied. Girls would push me in the hallways. Girls would talk shit behind my back. Girls would make up false rumors. Even guys would make up false rumors. They would call me a slut. They would, make fun of my YouTube videos. Everybody bullied me for my YouTube videos. They would say how weird I was and like how I like did a Betty Boop makeup tutorial and like I put glue in my eyebrows. They would make fun of me for everything. And I was like, what would be really fucking cool? If someone at my school wore a Girls Supporting Girls shirt. If someone at my school wore a Girls Supporting Girls hoodie. Like that would be really fucking cool. And I think that it would honestly like make a difference in like how people are treated in high school and how, people are treating each other. Cause like you're not gonna be mean to someone wearing a Girls Supporting Girls shirt. Like what the fuck? That's so contradicting itself. And I also wanted to take it a step further and like, have a donation. So knowing that every single time that you buy a hoodie, every time that you buy a velour tracksuit, every time that you buy something, a crew neck, joggers, whatever it is, that a portion of the sale is going towards a girls' nonprofit organization. So I don't know. It's just like, having, learning from, my first merch line where I just like slapped my name on something, slapped it on and like, did it and like it wasn't successful, not feeling discouraged and knowing that everything always works out in my favor, learning from my mistakes and trying again, even though I failed the first time, trying again. And lo and behold, now I have Girls Supporting Girls and it's like my favorite thing. And it's like my favorite thing that I've done and the thing that I want to be known for. And I hope that it helps other people and I hope that people love it and they feel confident wearing it out. And I hope that, I don't know, people just like it. And something that I'm working on with Girls Supporting Girls, I feel like fucking the guy from Minions, Girls Supporting Girls. Something that I'm working on with Girls Supporting Girls is we're going to be buying a well, and I'm so excited. I wanted to work with a thirst project for so long, so we're going to be buying a well from Girls Supporting Girls, and I'm so excited. And it helps so many people with like clean, fresh drinking water, and it's so crazy that you can affect someone's life just by coming together, like having something that everyone is passionate about, which is Girls Supporting Girls, having so many people come together, put their money all together and make something as beautiful as like a well that affects so many people and it affects their life in so many ways. And like they're able to get educated now and they're able to, I don't know, it's like something that I'm really excited about and I'm getting really sidetracked, but everything always works in my favor. And I know that, hey, maybe I failed the first time, but I learned from it and now it's going to work for me now. And if it doesn't work for me now, this one was just a lesson. And I know that at the end of the day, everything is going to work in my favor and everything that I do is going to work out. So number 6, my very last affirmation, I put the universe always has my back. Again, the universe always has my back. So something that I have been putting off and wanting to do for the longest time was launch this podcast. If you have like followed me for any time, you would know that I have been thinking about launching a podcast for maybe years. Maybe like 5 or 6 years. At least half of my YouTube career, I've like debated making a podcast, and I even made a podcast with like my ex, and like I wanted to like make my own solo podcast, and like people would always tell me, they're like, oh, solo podcasts don't do well, like you need a duo, you need someone that you do the podcast with, like blah 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 blah, it's not gonna do well, like Girl Talk is so like not specific, like there's a million other podcasts named Girl Talk, like how do you know that yours is gonna go well, like I think you should do a different name change, like blah, 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 blah. And I remember specifically, I was on the call with like my network, which is like Studio 71. And I was like, you guys, I know that Girl Talk is going to do well. I know that the universe always has my back. I have videos on YouTube of Girl Talk and they have millions of views. I know that people like listening to me and like my advice. And like, I know that, you know, it's like something that's so comforting and it's something that's missing in the podcast industry is just like, you know, a safe space for girls to talk about whatever the fuck. And it doesn't need to be a duo because everyone was like so pushing me. They're like, you need to have a duo. You need to have a duo. And I was like, I know it's going to do well with just me. I have the proof to back it up. My YouTube videos with Girl Talk have millions of views. People like my Girl Talk. People like, you know, talking about taboo things and like listening about taboo things. And, you know, people like talking about sex. And like sometimes, you know, I feel like when I listen to duo podcasts, because I don't really listen to too many duo podcasts, I just feel like it's almost as if they have like an inside joke and like I don't really get it. It's almost like I feel like the third wheel or like the third person out. And I was like, I know that the duo podcast is like a really big thing right now with like Call Her Daddy and blah, 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 blah. But I know and I'm confident that the universe always has my back. And I know that the Girl Talk with just me is going to do well. And lo and behold, look at who just got a Spotify deal. Miss Emma Chamberlain. And does she have a duo podcast? No, it's just her. And she just like talks about random shit. And I genuinely love her podcast. Like I sometimes like, girl, I don't agree with everything that she says on the podcast, but I'm like, it just feels like you're just listening to your best friend. And it just feels like you're talking to your friend on FaceTime and you guys are just chill and like you guys, you could just be cleaning your room and it's like your friend's just talking to you on FaceTime and it's just chill. And I'll listen to it in the car. I'll listen to it when I'm cleaning my room and I'll listen to it whenever. And I love her podcast. And like, I think like her not doing YouTube anymore made me miss her. And I was like, I wonder what she's up to. I'm going to listen to her podcast. So I started listening to her podcast and I was like, you know what? Her podcast kind of fucking slaps. And I was like, I'm so happy that A, I listened to my gut and B, I knew that the universe always had my back. Sorry, I got heated. I'm like heating up right now. I like get very passionate about this. But I don't know. I think that these affirmations are things that you can say to yourself on a daily basis. And I promise you, look at yourself in the mirror, say these affirmations. Even if you don't believe it, your subconscious will start to believe it and you will start to believe it. So what are the affirmations? It's number 1, I always get what I want. Number 2, manifesting is effortless to me. Number 3, power isn't giving to me. I already have it. Number 4, everything I want always wants me more. Number 5, everything always works out for me in my favor. And number 6, the universe always has my back. These are the 6 affirmations that I always say that makes me truly believe that I am a lucky girl and I am deserving of great things. And I always get my way and I'm always just lucky. And it's literally a science. There's no thing that makes someone lucky versus unlucky. It's all about your mindset and it's all about the way that you just talk to yourself and your inner monologue in your head. But I love this podcast episode. I hope that, with people listening to this, you start becoming lucky and good things start happening to you because I swear shit actually works. So start saying these affirmations and I swear it'll actually start happening. So now it is time for work. See me and me work. I don't know the words, but we're going to be doing what would Rihanna do? WWRD, because I love Rihanna. Rihanna, don't sue me. But just things that I think what Rihanna would do, because I always look up to her when I'm always like feeling confident and insecure. I'm always like, what would Rihanna do? And I always think of the best thing to do. So the first question, because it's anonymous, people ask me on my spam account. It's not Adeline on Instagram if you want to follow it. But someone asked, how long should you date, and it's in quotes, date someone before things become official? So one thing, especially when you're sexually active with someone, is I would 100% ask them really basic questions. And like a lot of my friends are always like, oh, is it like clingy or is it weird if I ask them these questions? Bitch, no. This is about your health. This isn't about being toxic. This isn't being about obsessive. This isn't being about crazy. It's about your health. So if you're sexually active with someone, I would first of all ask, are you, sleeping with anyone else? Are we using a condom every single time? Am I on birth control? What are ways that we're being safe? And if you are sleeping with other people, are you using a condom with other people? When was the last time that you got tested? These are very basic questions that you absolutely have the right to and absolutely should be asking your situationship, because it's not about being crazy and it's not about being jealous and it's not about anything like that. It's about literally your health. Because, say that, the condom slips, or say that, you do it without it, and say that, whatever, something happens. Chlamydia is just uncomfortable for men, but chlamydia can permanently make you infertile as a woman. It's not about being crazy. It's not about being clingy. It's genuinely just about your health. So I would ask the person that you're having sexual intercourse with and be like, hey, are we using condoms? Are you being sexually active with other people? When was the last time you got tested? And I feel like these are very normal, really respectful things that you should be asking your partner before you even, get into the whole dating territory. I feel like when you talk about those things, you're able to open the conversation of, hey, I'm the kind of go with the flow kind of guy, blah, blah, blah. I hate those bitches. I'm a go with the flow kind of guy. Ugh. But, you're talking to someone and they're like, hey, I'm kind of a go with the flow kind of guy. I'm not really looking for anything serious. That's how you kind of know what you're getting yourself into. And girl, I know that we all think that we can fix him, but you're not going to fix him. I've been there and I've done that. You're not going to fix him. If a man looks at you like, a situationship, nothing that you do, you could be the most perfect girl in the world, it's never going to change his mind. But, every relationship has its own different timeline. I think that a month is definitely in situationship territory, but I would definitely say 2 or 3 month territory is definitely getting into the whole dating territory. 4, 5, 6, it's you 100% should have that conversation, especially if you're seeing each other every weekend and it's a very consistent thing and blah, 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 blah. 100%, I think 3, 4, 5, 6 months, 100% you should have an answer. I think 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, you could definitely be talking about it. But yeah, there's no due date. I think every relationship is different. And honestly, I really love the slow burn type of relationships, the relationships where, it's maybe not as fiery in the beginning and it's maybe not as crazy and spicy in the beginning, and you kind of grow to learn each other. Those are my favorite types of relationships. And yeah, it's not the most exciting, and I do love a good toxic relationship here and there, and I love a good toxic situationship here and there. But it comes to a point where you're okay, do I actually want to be in a relationship? Do I actually want to have stability? Do I actually want to be really happy? And I don't know, I feel when I go into, dates and stuff like that, I'm I feel we don't have that spark. We don't have that thing, blah, 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 blah. But are you bonding because you guys have a spark, or are you bonding because you both have the same traumas as children? Did you both have unstable parents when you were growing up? Is that why you crave that unstable feeling of he's not texting me back, I'm not going to text him back, playing those games and blah, 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 blah. It comes to a point where I was just I am exhausted of the games and I need to figure out myself, because obviously something is wrong with me where I'm obsessed and I'm crazily obsessed with the unstableness, and I love the uncertainty and feeling the need to constantly prove myself to someone, and proving that I'm hot, and proving that, I post a thirst trap and they have to like it, and then they text me and blah, 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 blah. It's just it's very much trauma bonding, which is fun, but you got to get over it sometime, girl. And it is fun in your 20s, but once you get to your 25, girl, you need to go to therapy. You need to go to therapy, girl. And you need to fix those traumas, because, it affects our relationships. And, at the end of the day, we just want to be loved. And as much as the fun, crazy situationships are and the toxic, crazy situationships are, we just want to be loved and we just want to be treated like a princess. Isn't that what we all want at the end of the day? So if you find yourself in that constant struggle of like always being in an unstable, toxic relationship, ask yourself, what kind of parents did I grow up with as a child? Why is this turning into a therapy session? What kind of parents did I grow up with as a child? Like, did I have did I have stable parents? Did I have unstable parents? Was their love stable? Was their love unstable? Would they be for me there 100% of the time? Would they only be there for me like 50% of the time? Is that what I'm looking for in a partner? Someone that's unstable, someone that's only going to be there for me like 50% of the time? Is that someone that I truly, genuinely want? Or do I want to stop the trauma, like the, historical family trauma that is, come to you? Do I want to work out and feel my feelings and like feel what I've gone through as a person and be able to live a happy and healthy relationship? Hell yeah. So I don't know. I would just go and write on a piece of paper. If you find that you're always in a toxic situationship and you can never find a label, go and write on a piece of paper a list of qualities of your parental figures. And then on a other side of the page, I'd write down qualities that are similar and partners that you seek from your parental figures. And are they negative? Are they inconsistent? Are they this? Are they that? Find that in yourself and try to heal that within yourself. Write a journal entry and tell, whatever parental figure, hey, I just wanted to say that I appreciate you so much. I understand that you were, sometimes unstable, but I know that I am worthy of stable and a healthy relationship. So for that reason, I wanted to say that I love you so much and I wish you the best, but this is something that I need to pursue. I don't know. I'm not a therapist, so if this doesn't work for you, then I'm sorry. That was a long question. Next question, someone asked how to find your own personal style. I struggled with this, especially when you're a teenager. Like, I was like, why do I feel like everybody has like their own aesthetic? Everybody has their own thing. Everybody has like a strong style. And like, I just don't know what the fuck I'm doing with my life. I don't know what my style is. Like, I go on Pinterest. I obviously like things, but like, I just feel like I don't have like a specific style. One thing that really helped me was to just have bad style. Like I just had bad style. You know what really helped is to just like truly, genuinely be authentically yourself and like find things that you actually genuinely like. Do you actually like that like boring white aesthetic on Pinterest? The clean, modern aesthetic. Some people actually do genuinely like that. But I thought that I liked that, but it turns out that I don't. I am maximalist to the max. I love lots of shit. I love lots of colors. I love big, bright things. I love things that are tacky. I love everything like that. I love being bright. I love being bold. I love this. I love this. I love this. So go on Pinterest. Don't be afraid to be tacky. Type in like keywords that you really like. What's your favorite color? Pink. Type in pink aesthetic. Type in this. Type in that. Make boards and like vision boards and like print out your vision boards and like, I don't know, like really experiment with your style and like maybe, hey, like my style changed like every other year. Maybe even every 6 months when I was like a teenager and I never could like fully find it. But I think what really helped me fully find it was like knowing that I'm never going to be 100% authentic. There was this one book that I read and I forget what it was called, but it just basically said that you will never be 100% authentic. All creative people pick things that they like and from their inspirations from like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 different people and they make it their own. If you were to be 100% truly authentic, if I were to be 100% truly authentic in my podcast, I'd have to speak a different language because I'd be copying the English language. And I'd be copying the microphone that I have. And I'd be copying the, whatever. It's literally impossible to be 100% authentic. So find, hey, do I like Bella Hadid's style? Do I like Vanessa Hudgens' style? Do I like Adeline's style? Do I like Selena Gomez's style? Find people that you like and find pieces that you like of their style and make it your own. I don't know. I think that's what help me too, because I wouldn't say that I have like one person specific style. I think I definitely take a lot of inspiration off of Kylie, like even the lipstick wall, her old like King Kylie era. But then I also take a lot of inspiration from Madison Beer and like her like hair and her makeup and her the way that she dresses. And I get a lot of inspiration from, you know, Emma Chamberlain, and like I love her podcast and I love her vibe and like the way that she carries herself. And like, I don't know, I get so much inspiration from so many people, and you kind of like form it and mold it and make it your own. And that's just you. I don't know. I love this question. Someone said, because if I'm going to talk about if anyone's going to talk about masturbation, it's going to be fucking me. It's embarrassing, but whatever. I fucking talk about it. Someone asked how to spice up me time with no vibrators. And I love this question because I'm a kinky motherfucker and I love trying new things. And like, especially like, you know, we always say, oh, I want to try new things with my partner. I want to try and experiment new things with my partner, blah, 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 blah. But why don't we ever try new things and experiment new things with ourselves? So I don't know. This is going to sound really fucking weird and you're going to judge me for this, but I love spicing it up with myself. And there's a lot of ways that you could do it. Is you can like, you know, kind of role play with yourself and like, you know, pretend that, you know, have like a fantasy in your head. Like what is something that you've always like getting like, you know, hooking up with like a tattoo artist or like, you know, thinking of like situations in your head. Another thing that you could do is like getting dressed up for yourself. You don't only have to wear lingerie for men. You can wear it for yourself and like turn yourself on. And like, I love like just putting on like a cute lingerie set and like just looking in the mirror and like seeing, I'm like, damn, I really am a goddess. Like, damn, I've really been looking good. And then I think also just like spicing up the location. Everyone's gonna know how weird I am. I don't give a fuck. But like, you know, we always say that we want to do like different locations with our partner. Like, oh my God, we just had sex like on the beach. But like, obviously I'm not gonna do that. I don't know. But you know, I'll try different locations, whether it's like obviously in private. Don't be, you know, masturbating in public with like, you know, that you could become a sex offender. But you know, what if it's like in your car? Or like, you know, in the kitchen. What if it's like, you know, in the bedroom? What if it's in the bathroom? What if it's in the shower? Like trying new different things. But I think that there's a lot of cool ways to spice it up with just yourself. Because I don't know, I feel like everybody always talks about like, how do we nurture the relationship with our partner? How do we spice up sex with our partner? But we don't think, how do I nurture the relationship with myself? And how do I spice up the sex with myself? Because like, obviously, I feel like the best way to have good sex is by knowing your body and masturbating. Knowing your body, knowing what feels good for you, communicating to your partner what you like, and just not being embarrassed about it. There were so many times that I've had sex and I'm like, oh my God, all that he sees is my rolls. All that he sees is my rolls. All that he sees is my rolls. And I'd be like, not having a good time because all that I think about is my rolls. And like, all that I think about is, you know, how ugly I think I look. But if you really think about men and the way that they think, the last thing that a man is looking at is your rolls. He is so excited to be looking at your ass. He is so excited to be looking at your titties. Being a woman is being a goddess, and just him being in your presence is an honor, a fucking honor. And we always forget that. So stop worrying and being like, oh, I probably look so ugly at this position. And like, girl, have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror, like bent over? Like that's a really good angle. Like you're gonna look really good. And like, have you ever taken nude selfies? Like when you bend over like that, it looks really good. So all I'm saying is don't be insecure about it because it's actually a really good angle and you're gonna look really good. And trust me, you're gonna look really good. But I think we got a little bit too TMI on this podcast, a little TMI girl talk. You know, I actually considered, I was like, should I do girl talk? Should I do TMI girl talk? I don't know. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed today's podcast episode. We really got into it. And I really hope that the girls that are listening, you start believing that you are a lucky girl, because I really do believe that you are a lucky girl and you are deserving of great, amazing things, and great, amazing things will happen to you. But yeah, if you guys haven't already, then make sure to give this video a like if you're listening to it on YouTube. Make sure to rate the podcast. It helps me a lot on Spotify, on Apple Music, whatever you can. It helps me a lot. But I'm always here. If you ever need to chat, I'm always here every single Wednesday. If you need to ask me any questions, it's always on Nat Adeline. It's my spam account on Instagram. But yeah, I love you guys. If you ever need anything, I'm always here at the same place at the same time. I love you guys. Bye. Did you like that episode? I really hope that you did. If you haven't already, then make sure to watch last week's episode or the week after. Just click on the links, whatever it is. And I hope that you guys enjoyed. Also, be sure to subscribe because it helps me a lot. But I love you, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Bye.
Sipping on Hawaiian punch. Squeeze the sides, feel it rush. Sipping on Hawaiian punch. Know you like all this gush. Oh no, you can't get enough. Sipping on Hawaiian.